Unless
I
you want
don't
to
even.
leave
I
room for
don't
somebody
remember.
else to get
But
up here.
if humans were born evil, babies would naturally prefer harmful behavior.
They do naturally prefer harmful behavior. Why do you think kids hate
But
milk?
how do they naturally prefer? How do they naturally prefer harmful behavior if they do all this good stuff for like people and they pick up stuff? I know you said it's curiosity, but if
Thank
they
you for the
pick
follow.
they pick up stuff and like they do all this stuff at a young age, how is that considered evil?
Okay. I will go ahead and specify again. You are born with self-preservation. That self-preservation means you want to survive. You want. That want later extends to selfishness. Self-preservation breeds selfishness. Selfishness eventually, uncapped, leads to evil. So here would be an example. A baby wants to live. It's going to cry whenever it's uncomfortable so that you are focused on taking care of it, and then it eventually, develops ways to live. Once the baby is able to function and communicate, it states, I want this. I want candy because candy is good. I constantly want this. I want this. I want that. Once you tell the baby, no, you can't have this, the baby starts to frown. It starts to look at you saying, no, 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 no. You're stopping me from getting what I want. That's not good. What I want is good. You stopping me is not good. That's the natural course any creature will have. That's why when you try to take things from a dog, it says, whoa, chill out. I don't want you to take this away from me. That's why cats try to scratch you whenever you try to take things away from them. People don't like it when you stop them from doing what they naturally want, and kids naturally want more things. So then you tell them, hey, you have to listen to me. I am the adult. You're the kid. Listen to me. That is how good things happen. And if you listen to me, I will give you a stuffed animal or something. You eventually positively reinforce the kid. That's the word. Positive reinforce the kid to teach them to be good. But yes, by nature, we develop towards selfishness and we develop towards evil by nature. If you don't teach that kid to listen and you teach that kid to just take whatever they want, they will only become evil. Why would they listen to anybody in society?
Again, I feel like that goes towards the environment they grew up in.
Yes, yeah. 100%, 100% correct. The environment. That's why I said whenever your selfishness is uncapped, you then become evil. But you have to cap it. You have to teach them, hey, I want to steal. I don't want my neighbor to steal from me, so we both will not steal from each other. Like, yo, bro, I like women. Do you like women? I'm sure you like women, right? The
Yeah, I
more
like
women, the
women.
better. Like, I want women for me. But I don't want you to take my women. So I won't take your women. So I'll keep my girl, you keep your girl. We just created a law. Now we need somebody to enforce that law. We just invented the police. And now we say it's a crime whenever you take my girl and I take your girl. See? We just invented a rule so that I will be good and you will be good. That's how
Alright, you
society
win.
works.
I'm out, bro.
Hey, no, you're good, you're good. Kids only take or steal if they were taught and not shown to do those things. So, yes, you're right. Uh, that was pretty cool. I just went into a whole conversation about how laws are invented. I didn't think I would go that far. I didn't think I would explain laws. That's cool. But Yassine, do you want to get up here? Meow meow meow. Okay, my bad. Meow 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 meow. Welcome to the stream. Let me go ahead and bring
I
Yassine
thought I
up here.
could win.
I mean, my goal is to be wrong. I
Vix
want to
is
be wrong.
suffering bad Wi-Fi.
What's up, bro?
Oh, okay. What's
What's
up?
up, bro? I'm outside right now, but yeah, I saw
That
this,
meow meow is in fact another
and,
Wix.
and I agree with it completely, right? I think if you would have asked me this, a year ago, I would have been, I would have disagreed with it.
Okay.
But the more thought I put into like these kind of questions, it's like it gets to a point where you prove yourself wrong, right? It's like
Mm.
I don't know. It's like I would like humans are born evil, right? It's the same thing you brought up of when you have a kid or there's a kid, right? He has selfish desires, right? And the guest you brought
Right.
up something about an environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you have a kid who has a bad environment, right? He will continue to become a bad person, right? Unless
Right.
someone, even if someone later on tries to change him, it's like it's already stuck in his brain because at a young age it was not changed. You get what I'm saying?
Correct. Yeah.
But I agree with you completely on that.
It's not a bad thing though. I think in I think us being born evil is a testament and a good thing for us as a society. Because think about it. We are born evil and yet we still give charity. We are born
Yeah.
evil and yet we still come together as a community and say, I love you, you love me. We create songs, we create football teams, we create all these beautiful things, schools to raise people, parents stay in the house and take care of the kids. Despite the fact that we're innately evil, we still do all these good things. I think that says a lot for
What
who we
happens when
are.
the government and society is built to keep class stratification? A baby doesn't have a choice in whether they are born rich or poor, and yet society forces those factors on the child.
So you're talking about factors influencing people to be evil. I think okay, I don't in the scenario that I'm speaking of, factors would not influence the kid to be evil. They would accentuate or fast forward the kid being evil. They wouldn't influence it. You get influenced to do good. Now, whenever obviously like get your brain written by your parents and you get told how to like act in public and stuff, you get given manners and whatnot, then you are influenced to be evil. Yes, you can unlearn evil, but you cannot unlearn self-preservation. Self-preservation is by nature. For example, if Yassine and I were to be hanging off a cliff, Yassine's natural first thought of development is I gotta save myself. He doesn't say we gotta get up here. Later he says we gotta get up here. But the first thought is I gotta get up here. I gotta save myself. Your first thought of self-preservation is your natural thought of self-preservation. And then you can decide to save somebody else. That's why whenever you get scared, you don't say, oh my gosh, guys, let's run. You start running. You don't wait till everybody else run. That's not what you do. No.
That's that's what I was gonna bring up. I was gonna say how even like even us now, we developed as people, right? Like even if you were born evil, you develop to have like these
That's what I
personalities
do.
to not be evil, right? I think I think yeah, I think even now everyone has that little bad side on them. For like if you put like for example someone in a situation like you said where they have to survive, they would always pick themselves. And it's not even a fact of everyone's innocent. People have that side to them, and it's just human nature.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just the reality of life. Some people obviously have a good heart enough to say, "Fine, I'll let you live, and I'll go ahead and just pass away." That's cool. That's not naturally how things work. But yeah, that's some people are just like that.
So this isn't YT, right?
This is the people I'm talking to right now are on TikTok, but this is streamed everywhere. Everywhere is so everyone can have a discussion. Like the
I'm gonna
people on the
follow you.
Twitch and the YouTube have TTS, so they can be part of the discussion. So
I'm about to head home. I'm gonna follow your YouTube and Twitch.
yeah, appreciate it, man. No problem, man.
I'm
Thank you.
surprised you remember me. I was
Bix
like,
is everywhere.
Dude, you used to come on the stream all the times and even try to make me laugh, of course.
All right,
All
well,
right, man. See you, man.
all right. You have a good day.
But do you think people are naturally racist? Can I say that word without getting banned? R word. I'll just say R word. Do you think people are naturally R word or learn it from other people? I think they naturally are. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Okay, guys. This is why I need you guys' help. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think people are naturally R word. Here's why.
When you
Okay.
gonna do the make me laugh win $100?
Probably sometime later this week. I don't know, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But here's why I think people are naturally R word, okay? And please correct me if I'm wrong. When you create society, you say, this is me, this is my parents, these are my kids, I like my own, we take care of our own. And then you have a society and you say, we take care of our society, we have laws, okay? You say when you're 18, you're an adult. You say when you're 21, you can drink. You say when you're 16 or whatever, you can drive. You create laws in your society, right? Now imagine your society called the red society meets a different society called the blue society. They don't wait till they're 18, then they're adults. They say when at 14, I'm an adult. They say at 5-year-old, I can drive. They say at 6-year-old, I can go ahead and drink. You as a society say, okay, that's a little weird. Why would you go ahead and do it so young? So because you think you're weird, you've developed this thing called xenophobia. Something different, I don't like it. That comes from self-preservation, but not one self-preservation, Societal self-preservation. I don't like them because they're different than us and they do things differently. Now, eventually you start pointing saying, I don't like them because they look different. That's where racism comes in. So yes, I do think that we are inherently born that way. Yes. Hey Steph, how you doing? Yes, I think you are very right because people are naturally put towards their own that are similar. Exactly. Yes. People prefer their own people and not other people. I'm good. How are you? I'm doing great. I'm explaining
Kids are
racism.
not naturally racist. They are
You think we are
naturally
born
able
with
to
racism?
differentiate the qualities that make people different. It is society that has developed stereotypes that are so prevalent that they keep into common knowledge and help the youth develop those biases that may become racism.
That is not what I said, Astrophil. What I stated is that people naturally prefer their own. We naturally build tribes. Tribalism, that's the word. We naturally develop tribalism. And due to tribalism, you develop xenophobia for people who are not a part of you. That xenophobia can turn into racism. That's where racism comes in. You say they look different than me, and clearly, since they look different, they're different. They look different,
This
so
is
they're
my
probably
argument,
dumber,
XD.
you know? So, yes. You think we are born with racism? I think we are born naturally catered towards racism.
Imagine being racist L.
I agree. Racism is a horrible thing. But yes, I think we're born naturally catered towards racism. Yeah, I think that's what happened. Yeah. I don't think, but yes, I think that's how not natural, because we develop tribalism very easily. Do you know? Let me show you what the internet did. This is why I love the internet. This sounds like a biblical take. No, it can be. I think this is more of a societal take, really.
Depends which environment you grow up in, especially for racism.
I agree. Okay, so let me go ahead and explain to you why the internet made this worse, okay? There is some guy in Australia who believes that spaghetti is a god.
I beg to
Spaghetti,
differ.
okay?
Society caters us to develop racism, not the other way around.
That's what I said. Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. That's what I said. Yes, anyways, okay, what I was saying is, there's a guy in Australia who believes that spaghetti is
Now
a god,
that's
right?
crazy.
I'm giving you an example. I'm not saying for a fact. I'm giving you an example. The guy in Australia believes that spaghetti is a god. Then there is a guy in Mississippi in America who also believes spaghetti is a god. These guys would have never met each other, and everybody would have said, yo, guy in Australia, you're wrong. Guy in Mississippi, you're wrong. And they would move on. Now that you have the internet, the guy in Australia says, I'm going to go ahead and create a Facebook group called the Society of Spaghetti Gods. Now the guy in Mississippi says, Google, is spaghetti a god? Rather than Google saying no, Google says, hey, look at this. Somebody else searched the same thing a week ago. Now, because you see more people thinking that way, you get positive reinforcement in your brain and you say, oh, okay, so clearly society does think spaghetti is a god. You automatically form tribalism. That is how natural it is. Another reason why this happens is football team. They got nothing to do with you, yet you automatically form tribalism. Another example, when you go to school, immediately everybody starts forming little cliques. Tribalism. It's our natural way of thinking. We want to be with our own. We want to survive together. And therefore we say they are surviving on their own. We are surviving on our own. Enemies. We fight each other. And we look different. Racism. That's how racism works. I talk to my friend from Australia on Snapchat every day. Yes. Nice. Social media is banned in Australia. I don't think social media is banned. I think social media maybe is restricted. I don't think it's banned. But anyways, that's how racism is formed, because people
That was a good
tribalize.
statement.
Yeah. But what do you think of that, Astrophil? I don't know if you're still at work or not, right? But what
Spages
do you think?
US. It's banned for people 16 and under.
Ah, 16. What led you to the conclusion that humans are born evil? Okay. Humans are naturally catered to. Humans are born with self-preservation. Every creature is born with self-preservation. Self-preservation leads to selfishness. It's natural, okay? You want things, you want to survive, so therefore you want things. When you want things, you want even more than you need. So you become selfish, also known as greed. Now, when you don't put a limit on that, when you say let it go ahead and do whatever it wants, that's where it becomes evil. Here's an example. I gave this example earlier, okay? A kid is born with the instinct to survive. It's going to cry so that you feed it. It's going to cry so that you wake it up. It's going to cry so that you lift it up. It's going to cry so that you take care of it. It wants to survive. Eventually, it notices that you're doing everything that it wants. So it's going to tell you, I want this specific food. I don't like this specific food. And if you keep saying yes and you don't restrict that selfishness, it's going to keep going. Okay, cool. I want this. And if you tell me no, you're bad. That's how natural people think. I want this. If you tell me no, you're bad. That's why cats, whenever you tell them no, they hiss at you. That's why dogs bark at you. Everybody wants to do what they want. And if you tell them no, you're the bad person. And if you don't teach that kid manners, they go into society saying, I want this, everybody else is wrong. Boom. That's a bad person. That's how evil is formed. Yes. Evil is uncapped selfishness. That's how that works. Yes. But yeah, I think you're born evil, you're thought to be good. But how do we define evil when by society standards it changes through history? You are using how do I describe what you just said? What is a good word for it? A good word for it would be
Jung's collective thesis of mind that theorizes that humans share a collective consciousness where we unconsciously share common knowledge in a telepathic way. He provides the evidence that prehistoric societies shared a common understanding of how to survive, but what explains the phenomenon that most prehistoric, pre-communication societies all believed good or heaven is up in the sky, and evil and hell is below?
Okay, I can explain that last part. Now, I think Jung is wrong in that part, but he may have been in the right track. I will get to your question real quick, Matt Golden. Okay. Why do we naturally think heaven is up and hell is below? Because there's not... Because of the expanse, okay? The way you grow up. Good, you grow up. Trees, when they're fruitful and when they're happy, they grow up. Everything naturally progresses up when things are going right. Keyword, when things are going right, things go up. When things are going wrong, things fall down. When you fall down from a high place, trees fall down when they're not happy, when they're, dead. Things naturally go wrong and they fall down. Things naturally go right, they go up. So eventually you think, wow, up is good, subconsciously, right? Up is good, down is bad. That's how human brains work. And then here's the thing too. Eventually we started looking at the sky and we started seeing stars. We started making connection with the stars and making constellations and whatnot. You think, wow, there is so much more out there.
We all are completely different. So it would be our search for similarities that creates bonds.
Yes.
It would be our unawareness about the similarities that would make us identify something as the other. That is what I think is the reason for xenophobia. Sky pretty dirt ugly.
Basically, sky pretty dirt ugly. You look at the sky, you say, wow, I want more of that. I want to constantly go more. So automatically you think good things must be in the sky. You see the ground is dirty. It's constantly infecting you. The little snakes and stuff on the ground. Naturally, you think up is good, down is bad. Just naturally, And look at, for example, hierarchies, okay? If you want somebody to be a leader, they usually stand on some kind of podium, something to oversee the natural people to say that this person is more. Naturally, we think up is better than down. So therefore, heaven is up, hell is down. That's how we naturally think. But to answer your question, Golden, how do we define evil by societal standard? You're thinking of winner's bias. Winner's bias states whoever wins is good and whoever loses is bad. Yes. If Superman wins, he's the good guy. If Lex Luthor wins, he's the good guy. That's how winner's bias works. If America won, they're the good people in the war. If Japan had won or Germany had won during World War II, history would be thought differently. I guarantee you that. Everybody would say Japan is a great country, great world power. Germany is a great country, great world power. Hail, H word. I'm not going to say it because I could get banned. That's how history would have been thought. So you're thinking of winner's bias. That's what you're thinking of. I hope that answers your question. Weston said, I thought it was like because the clouds was heaven and the devil was like stick in the ground.
Hierarchies are inherently evil in my opinion.
No, I think hierarchies are a natural part of life, but they can become evil. I think it's normal to have a hierarchy. I think if you don't have a hierarchy, you're doing something wrong. Because here's how this works, okay? Let's simplify it to hunter-gatherers. We're all hunter-gatherers. Whoever can catch the most animals and eat is clearly the best hunter-gatherer. So you want to keep setting that guy to go do more because he's the best at it. Hey, bro, you're not so good at it. You caught the least out of everybody. How about this? You stay behind and keep the house for us and save the house and prepare the meal while we go get the meal. You be a housewife. Everybody else goes hunt. Natural hierarchy gets set up. Same thing when you were in school. That kid who was the fastest was the most popular. That kid who was the prettiest was the most popular. We naturally form hierarchy. It's normal. It's not a bad thing. It's a normal thing. Hierarchy is good. I don't know why, but I was
Vix
little
was
when
defo the fastest.
Oh, well, of course, Vix, you were the fastest, of course. But yes, no, natural hierarchies are not a bad thing. They can be a bad thing if you let them, but no, they're a normal thing. They're a pretty good thing. I think you need hierarchies. Yeah. Hierarchies help you understand your place in the world. If you don't have hierarchies, you wouldn't know your place in the world. Yeah, everybody would say they can do whatever they want, you know? We have presidents for a reason. We have waiters for a reason.
But no one is good at everything.
I'm
Division
for
of
sure
labor.
evil. I believe you. But no one is good at everything. Division of labor. That's where you get roles. Roles require you to
Was
have.
Truth the prettiest on the playground?
I was not. I was not. I was the most creative and I was the funniest, but I was not the prettiest. I eventually became the prettiest. Anyways, wait, but the smartest kid was weird. Exactly. Days Wavy says I'm for sure evil. No, I believe you. Now, I was going to answer somebody's question. Who's that question? I was going to answer Abrarek. Is that how you say your name? Division of labor? Yes. So you say
Hot take.
roles, right?
Scar was justified in killing Mufasa. Mufasa was hogging all the bitches astrip 33 ICANT.
Rightfully. Mufasa had every right to hog all of them. Here's why. This is how lions think. I will go ahead and fight to see who is the dominant male, okay? And whoever is the dominant male clearly has the better genetics. They have the better teeth, they have the better nails, they have the better form, they have the better hair. Whoever is the best at fighting is clearly the one that you want to continue reproducing. Because let's say the tigers want to come take over. Let's say the elephants want to come take over. The leopards want to take over. You want your best lion out there. So how do you make your best lion? By figuring out who's the best. And whoever is the best, you give that person the most girls so that we can create more best lions. So naturally Mufasa that's why Mufasa was bigger than Scar. Naturally there's a reason why Scar was skinny, you know? You want to create more of the best one and then have that be the mainstay. That's how people it's genetics. It's how it works, okay? But yes, Mufasa had every right to have all the women. It's just natural way of life, okay? But yes. So if my newborn is barely born, does that make my newborn evil? Should I be worried? If you don't teach your newborn to be good, yes. Yes. If you don't teach your newborn to be good, yes. What's up, Alex Ramos? I haven't seen you in a
The
minute.
animal kingdom is racist AF astrip 33 Omega.
The animal kingdom is not racist. The animal kingdom is honest. The animal kingdom says, hey, I don't care about your feelings. Whatever is right. And right is might. If you're not strong, you're not right, you're weak. That's what the animal kingdom states. We used to think like that, and then we got infected with society and saying, okay, well, does he have to be wrong? What if we can all live together? Kumbaya. That's how we are as humans. But yes, you said born. Yes. I will explain that again, I guess. You were born with self-preservation. Self-preservation leads to selfishness. Selfishness uncapped, Hakuna Matata, exactly, Weston. Selfishness uncapped becomes evil. So, by extension, you are born catered towards evil. But yes, I like the way the animal kingdom works, though. It's not friendly, but it's correct. Whatever is fit to survive is the right way to go about things. That's also how we continue in society. Whoever is the strongest, let's say we were all like, they low-key smarter and more logical. Animals can be more logical, not more smarter. They're more logical. They're too, logic and smart can go hand in hand, but they're not always the same thing. So, let's say we all were in a zombie apocalypse, right? Luna, hey, how you doing? let's say we were all in a zombie apocalypse. Naturally, whoever can kill the most zombies and survive the longest is the one
Because
you want to
power
lead you.
changed forms, for your might is right comment.
Yes. Naturally, whoever can survive the longest and destroy the most zombies is the one you want leading you, right? So you have them get whatever they want. Hey, bro, please continue to protect me and continue to provide for me, and I will give you whatever you want. You want more kids? Sure. Like, you know, they're a blank slate. Yes. No, babies are not a blank slate. Babies are a blank slate in the sense that you can teach them things, but they're not a blank slate in the sense that they're not evil. No. If that's what you're saying, Alex Ramos. No, babies are not a blank slate in that term. If that's what you're saying. I don't know if that's what you're saying or not. Animals are usually natural in a type of zombie apocalypse situation. Yes. Bro, yes, they are. Okay. Babies are a blank slate in the terms that you can teach them how society works. They're not a natural blank slate. Here's what I mean by that. When a baby is born, it already knows that crying is how it asks for help. Do you think that's a blank slate? Where did it learn that? It's not a blank slate. It knows that crying is how it asks for help. It knows that hunger is not a good thing. It knows that eating is good. It knows that predators are a bad thing. So it gets curious. You're born with 3 instincts. Can it kill me? Can I eat it? Can I reproduce with it? Those are your 3 base instincts. That's not a blank slate. You are being taught other things. Yeah, sure. But no, you are born with instincts, you know? Even morally, they're a blank slate. Yes. Morally, you're a blank slate. You are taught morals. You're not born with morals. Morally, you're a blank slate. But other than that, no. Kids are not a blank slate. Buddy, let me ask ChatGPT. Oh, Lord have mercy. I like you, man. I like you. You're pretty cool. You're pretty cool. I am curious what ChatGPT says. Oh, man. That was good, man. I am curious what they say. Ah, man. But, because power change forms for your right might makes right. Oh gosh, not ChatGPT. Hey Emmy, how you doing? I don't know, man. Alex, get up here. Let's discuss this. What's up, Mari? How you doing? But yes, Alex, I would love to have this discussion with you.
Vix is being artsy RN.
Yeah, I will go ahead and check that out later, Vix. I will. I'm okay, just cold. You should wear a jacket. You should do that. You should wear a jacket. Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, we could discuss it. I don't think natural instincts take away from the slate. You are 100% right. You are 100% right. Genuinely, you are. You're not wrong for that. You're not wrong for that. I want to know. Want to know what? You want to know what ChatGPT said? Yes. Go ahead. What does ChatGPT say? Yes. Actually, first, what question did you ask ChatGPT? Because ChatGPT responds based on your prompt. Based on your prompt. So what did you ask and what did it say? And then, am I ugly? Oh, Lord have mercy. That's what you asked? Really? 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 What did it say? Oh my gosh, man. Ah, jeez. I want to know what ChatGPT. I guess. I don't know why that's what you asked. Jeez, man. But yes, Alex. If you could come up here, I would love to like discuss it with you more. You know, so it doesn't feel like I'm talking down like at you. You know, if you want to, you don't have to. You know. But yeah, it's up to you. But I can still like talk to you this way. I just would prefer it if you're up here. ChatGPT about to go evil on him. Wait, what was I supposed to ask ChatGPT? GG's, man. Come on, man. Jeez. Oh, man. Unbound. What's up, Unbound? How you doing? Bro. Okay. Go to... yeah. I can't at the moment. That's fine, Alex Ramos. That's fine. But yes. Now, Mari, earlier you said you don't know, man. I'm guessing you mean you don't know about this whole humans are born evil thing. That's fine. That's completely fine. Everybody was arguing with me about it, and I hope I'm wrong. The goal is I want to be wrong. That's why I'm doing this. Hey Becky, I hope Becky can prove me wrong. I hope Becky can prove me wrong. But yes, so this is what I naturally came to the conclusion of. Okay, my thought process was we are born with the idea of self-preservation. We want to live, so therefore we want to eat. Eventually you say I want. And you stop saying, I want to live, you just say, I want. When you say I want, that's called selfishness. You start to greed and selfishness, you start to decide to want. That want being uncapped is what creates evil. When you don't cap your selfishness, it creates evil because you then eventually start to take from other people. And evil is described as negatively affecting somebody else. That's the general description of evil. Yes. Let me finish my Apex game. GG's. I didn't know people still played Apex. But yes, that is why I believe we are naturally born evil. Sunny, what's up, Emmy? But yes, some people believe that this is a theological or like a biblical standpoint. It can be. It's not inherently. I think this is how you are with society, regardless of if you include the Bible or not, you know? You should get dark blue braces next time. The ones before this were red. These ones are pink. I could do dark blue braces. Sure. I could do dark blue. Young Reezy, what's up? How you been? I could do dark blue. Sure. I wanted to do gold, but the thing is, if I did gold, it would make it look like I have yellow teeth. And I don't have yellow teeth. So I didn't do gold, you know? Dark blue, yeah. Okay. Dark blue is definitely your color. You want to know what's funny, guys? I don't like blue. I don't like the color blue. My two favorite colors.
Vix needs braces and she is not excited.
Yeah, gold is not good. Yeah, I don't like the color blue. My favorite color, everything I even have like a red do-rag. I have a whole red do-rag and everything. My favorite colors are two things: white and red. Those are my two favorite colors. That's why the reason why I like this shirt is because it has white and red.
Everything you got is blue.
No, everything I got is red. Everything you see is blue. Everything I got is red. I have everything that's either red or white or some variation of that. But yes, the reason why I like playing the Nintendo Switch is because it has red in it. The reason why my favorite hat is this is because it's red and white. My favorite colors are red and white. I don't like blue, but I have blue. Where's the red do-rag? Right here. Right here. I just didn't want to wear it because it wouldn't match what I have on. I've been told I look good in blue though, so I wear blue, you know? But my favorite color is not blue. I don't like blue. Yes, I don't.
Gotta get braces, so we are gonna be matching twin.
Oh my gosh, I would love that actually. Yeah.
Where's the red eyes?
Red eyes? I don't have red eyes. I wish. Vanessa, how you doing? Okay, let me go ahead and read what Ramos said. Yeah, if there's no cap on desire, I can see how it leads to evil. But desire itself is not evil. No, yes, 100% agree. This is why, okay. I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys something. Hey, twin, I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys something. Ego is not a bad thing. I know you were raised to think ego is a bad thing. No. Ego was invented by the Greek people. Okay, cool. Ego was invented by the Greek people. Ego simply means I, self. Ego means your individuality. Pride is a bad thing. Now, where does the word ego becoming a bad thing came from? When people always try to focus on themselves, you say you have focusing on your ego, you're focusing too much on your ego, you have an egoistic personality. That's where ego became a bad thing, when people are prioritizing themselves over others. Ego is not a bad thing. You need an ego. If you don't have an ego, you get insecurity.
Egotistical.
Yes. If you don't have an ego, you become negative. You start having insecurities. Ego is a good thing. Raise your kids to have an ego and be humble enough to know that your ego can get better. Ooh, I just made a quote. Raise your kids to have an ego and be humble enough to know that your ego can become better. Here's how that works. Raise your kids to say, hey, I am the best. No. Raise your kids to say, I am really good at what I do, but I could get better. So I will learn from other people who are doing better than me and then get better. That's how you get better at soccer games. That's how you get better at football. That's how you get better at learning. You say, I am good at math, but I can get better. Raise your kids to have an ego and then teach them to be humble enough to know that they can get better. Ooh, bro, let me go ahead and quote that, bro. Oh my gosh.
That's how I was RQAISED and I am goated. Be like Vix, everybody.
Thank you, Maury, for the follow. No, guys, don't be like Vix. I'm kidding. But yes, hey, is that Bryce? Bryce, do you disagree with me? I hope Bryce disagrees so I can discuss it with him. Laura's Corner, hey, how you doing? But yes, can somebody go ahead and quote what I just said, by the way? I feel like I need to patent it. Can we go ahead and quote it and spread it? Raise your kids to have an ego and teach them to be humble enough to know they can be better. Yeah. Damn. Sheesh, bro. I should be a philosopher type shit. Oh man. But yeah, you guys just watch me invent a new whole phrase. I feel so proud of myself.
Put it on a poster.
Put it on a poster. Yeah, I'll put it on a poster with a cat in the background, and and the cat has like a graduation cap or something, right? Oh man, Autonomous Talker. Thank you so much for following the YouTube. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Wood frame.
Ah, yeah, I should definitely frame that. But yes, is Bryce Brain Vomit still here? I want to know if Bryce agrees with me. Bryce, I believe humans are born evil. Do you agree or not? Bryce is somebody who I consider to have a brain. Not a lot of people have a brain. Yes, not a lot of... Okay, fair enough. Not a lot of people know how to use their brain. Everyone has a brain. Yeah, they just don't know how to use it. Yeah, apparently we need a tutorial. We need a manual for the brain. And people don't have that. I developed
Vix
a manual
has a
for the
big
brain. I believe it.
Learn from Vix.
No, don't learn from Vix. I have a manual on how to use your brain. I can teach you guys how to use your brain, but not a lot of people know how to do it. It's very rare. Very, very rare. Yes. Astrophil knows how to use his brain sometimes. Ninja...
I agree because of what the Bible teaches.
Well, you see, now you made it theological. The thing is, I was trying to avoid it being theological. Somebody asked earlier, is this like a Bible/theology thing? And I told them no, it's a societal thing. But yes, I guess the Bible does teach that humans are born evil. So does that mean I'm right, guys? If the Bible says I'm right, does that mean I'm right? Is that how that works, guys? Like, am I like... Am I justified now? Is that how that works? I'm curious. If the Bible says I'm right, more philosophical, I agree. It's more philosophical than theological. But if the Bible says I'm right, does that like I'm automatically right? Like there is no room for argument, right? Like, come on, that's it, right? We're good, right? We're automatically set. There is no room for argument. No, you still have to quote and back up claims. Fuck. So you mean to tell me to prove I'm right, I can't have people say I'm right? I have to explain and walk you through the logical conclusion that I came through? You're telling me I can't just have people say I'm right? Gosh darn it. Bring back the patriarchy. Why can't I just say I'm right? Damn it. Ah, man. Does anyone else miss the patriarchy? Is it just me? Like, no? Okay, fine. All right.
From a philosophical point, I also agree. Humans
up,
have
Nate
a natural
Dogg?
predisposition to the wrong choices.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that for semantics, for semantical reasons, not because you're wrong. You're right. Humans have the natural predisposition towards the wrong choices. It's not the phrase I would use. I would say humans have the natural predisposition towards their own desires. What you desire isn't inherently wrong. It's just what you desire. What makes it wrong is how it affects you and others. That's what makes it wrong. So I would specify it differently. There's a girl recently that used the Bible as a source but didn't quote the site's scholarly sources. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Scholarly sources and got a 0. Ah, really? Interesting. I mean, I feel like that's the same with me. Like, I know what the Bible says off the top of my head. I just cannot give you the exact verse. I can tell you the general place. Like, I know what Psalm says. I know what Romans says. I just cannot give you the exact verse. So I'll probably get a 0 too. You know? So I think I see what you're saying. I definitely agree with you, Alex. But yeah, I don't think humans have a natural disposition towards wrong choices. I think they just have a natural disposition towards their choices. And then how it affects people is what decides if it's wrong or not. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's how I would phrase that. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. You guys are pretty cool. I love you guys. We're surrounded by smart
Yeah, that
people.
makes sense.
Wow. I never thought I would say this, but I am usually surrounded by dumb people. My everyday life.
You argued that evil is basically defined to be harming and hurting other people. And you argue that humans are born evil, which basically means that babies are able to harm or hurt people. I think I am pretty cool too.
Okay, so yes, babies are capable of harming people if not taught to do otherwise. Because think about it. Kids want food. And what's the best tasting food? Probably dessert. Some people say it's chicken. I think it's dessert, okay? So kids want sweet because it tastes better than broccoli. So if you don't tell the kid to eat broccoli, it's going to always eat sweet. And the next time somebody takes the sweet away from it, it's going to cry. And eventually the kid is going to learn to not let people take things away from it and start hurting things that take it away from it. That's why animals have claws, to hurt you if you try to take things away from them.
If there is a 2-year-old baby, they will not stab someone no matter how they are taught.
They will not stab someone, but they will prioritize themselves over someone. A 2-year-old can harm another 2-year-old by saying,
humans aren't
hey,
born evil, why do they have to be taught what's good at a young age?
they do have to be taught what's good at a young age. Yes. 2-year-olds do not work well with each other.
I used to bite people, but they won't cause physical harm if they are young.
Well, because they can't. Okay, simply because you can't doesn't mean you're a good person, okay? Simply because you don't have the ability to invent a nuclear bomb, that does not mean you wouldn't use it, okay? That's not how that works.
My fiance works in childcare and would disagree.
Yeah, simply
Even
because
using
you
a tool
can't
like a
do
knife
something
or a
doesn't
weapon,
mean
you
you're...
know?
Okay, you just posed a very good idea, okay? You just posed a very good idea. So let me go ahead and propose you guys this question. Okay? This is the question. Let me go ahead and figure out how to phrase it. Okay. If you don't have the choice to do good or evil, does that make you a good person?
You said it, learned. Your arguments revolve on them learning to do evil, not about being born evil.
It's a natural progression. Okay. But yeah, the question is,
if they are young,
Border...
they may not be strong enough, but weapons are. They
What's
have
up, Border
chance,
Bunny? How you doing?
But will not.
Okay, so again, I'll go ahead and phrase the question again. If you don't have the choice to do good or bad things, are you a good person? Okay? If I put you in chains so you don't have the choice to hurt anyone, does that make you a good person? I think no. I think it just makes you a person without a choice. I don't think you're a good person simply because you're restrained. I think you're a good person. Okay. So same thing with babies. Because they're not able to harm somebody does not mean they are good people. It just means they're not able to harm. Given the ability to harm, they will do it. That's why we have things like the Purge movies. That's why we have things like social media. Let me show you how social media works. I am behind the screen. The person in Australia does not know who I am, so therefore they're not going to hurt me. I will go ahead and call them every slur in the book, and they can't do anything about it. And if they block me, I will make another account and do it again. Lack of accountability allows people to be trolls and toxic.
Using weapons, though, not strength. Well, with that logic, humans are neither born good nor evil. They just are.
No, humans have a natural disposition towards evil. Natural disposition. Keyword, natural disposition, okay? Humans naturally cater towards evil. They're thought to be good. I agree with
Bryce. Also applies to evil as well.
Okay, so let me... Do they though? Yes, let me go ahead and explain. Again, with your natural born for self-preservation, you want things for yourself. That's where selfishness comes in. Eventually, you start saying, I want things for myself despite how it affects everybody else. That's what happens when you don't cap that selfishness. That's what makes it evil. When you do it despite everybody else.
I'm not saying that's my stance. That's just what comes with the chain argument.
And I just explained to you why that chain argument does not link up. When you don't cap your selfishness, it becomes evil. That's what happens. When you don't teach the kid good manners, the kid becomes an evil person. As I'm sure you've noticed kids who are not raised right. Yes. You naturally become evil when you don't get taught good things. Naturally. So. Yeah. It's just the natural course of like nature. You know?
Do I have TTS? This is a test.
Yes, you do. Everybody has TTS. Just don't say anything weird, please. That's all I ask. Don't say anything weird. Everybody has TTS right now. Just please don't say anything weird. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? What I just said?
Weird.
Weird?
Evil
Okay.
equals free will.
No. 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 Free will leaves room for evil. That's the correct statement. Evil does not equal free will. Free will leaves room for evil. Yeah, you got it backwards. No, evil does not equal free will. Yeah, let's not go towards that train of thought. That's a very bad train of thought.
No, it's in the good book.
It's a no, no, no. That's not how that works. Free will leaves room for evil. You know what? I don't want to have a theological discussion. I don't want to have, but we
The
could,
devil had free will.
and that left room for him to be evil. Didn't it? Didn't it? Okay, fine. We'll go ahead and make it theological. Okay, here. I'll go ahead and tell you guys what happened. Okay, the devil had free will, so it left room to be evil. Here's what happened in the Garden of Eden. God could have never put the tree of good and evil there. Okay,
No,
he
but
could have
free
only
will
put the
made
tree of
him
life.
evil. See,
God
now I
could have-
want to get into the discussion of the reliability of the Bible as a historical source.
That's a whole different. That now you're talking about history. I'm talking about philosophy. Okay, so God could have simply not give them the rule. Okay, he could have simply just say, "Hey guys, just live on." Okay, but instead he specifically gave them a rule saying, "Hey, do not eat from here, and if you don't, good. If you do, bad." That's a rule. That rule allows you to have a choice. You are not good until you have a choice. Given the choice, then you are good. Okay? Same thing with love. You don't love something until you can choose it. Okay? Love is a choice. Love is not an emotion. All of that stuff. You can only be good because you choose good, and we naturally chose evil. Simple. We just naturally chose evil. Is that being evil or just falling to temptation? That's not two different things. Those are not exclusively different. They can be, but they're not exclusively different in this scenario. In the scenario we're talking about with the Garden of Eden, choosing to fall for temptation was choosing evil. In that specific scenario, it was choosing evil. But yes, what happened in the Garden of Eden was God gave them a choice to be good people or not be good people, and they chose to not be good people. Simple as that. Most people choose to not be good people. You have to choose and go out of your way to be a good person. So, yeah. Evil is easier. I assure you. Being evil and being selfish is way easier. And it's natural. That's why you get awarded for doing good things. Because you chose not to. But, yeah. So, I didn't want to make it theological. But you guys wanted to make it theological. That's fine.
Depends on culture.
Depends on culture? No, that's where you get laws. Laws depends on
Just
culture.
out of curiosity, as a Christian yourself, how do you separate theology and philosophy?
Okay. So theology is saying, how do we think relatively in accordance to God? Philosophy is saying, how do we think? Simple.
No, it does depend on culture, because every culture has different genes.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But yes, theology is saying, how do we think relatively to God? Philosophy is simply saying, how do we think? That's how the whole famous question says, to be or not to be. Theology will state, to be or not to be according to God. Philosophy just simply states, to be or not to be. So theology just gives it an extra level of like layer and stuff. That's the difference between theology and philosophy. Yeah. So. Yeah. If I said, wow, I want to know how Alex thinks, that's philosophy and psychology. If I said, I want to know how Alex thinks with his relationship to God, that's theology. You know? So, yeah, that's how I would differentiate it. So, I hope that makes sense. Yeah. I'm curious to know what you guys think, though. Does that add up or no? You guys are silent. I see theology as a category. I mean, yeah. Philosophy is also a category, isn't it? Oh, wait. Are you saying philosophy is? Oh, wait. Are you saying theology is a category of philosophy? You might be onto something. You might be onto something. Yeah. Yeah. Philosophy. Yeah. Theology is a category of philosophy. You might. Yeah. Yeah. I can't argue with that. Yeah. You might be right. You might be right. Theology is a category. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hey, that's not off. You might, yeah, that you might be onto something over there. Yeah. What does that statement go? Bilu, you're thinking. Is there a difference of being a bad person or an evil person? Because evil sounds worse than bad. It does sound worse than bad, doesn't it? Bad is a decision. Evil, I think, is a series of action. I think. Okay, I could be wrong. Okay, this is me just spitballing. Okay, this is me just spitballing. But I think evil is a series of actions, and bad is just a decision. I think. Yeah. I think evil is intent. Bad is just a happenstance. For example, when food is expired, it's bad. That does not mean the food is evil. It didn't intend to expire. It's just bad, you know? When fire burns you, it's bad. Did the fire intend to burn you? No, so it's not evil, right? I think evil is the intent, and then bad is the natural, like, state, you know?
Evil milk.
Yeah, evil milk. Okay, because philosophy involves basic morals in relation to laws, etc. Craving food and power are lower vibrations, so we are born evil technically. Fair enough. Fair enough. Bad is more a choice, and while evil is more intention to it. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I think bad is the state of things or the choice you make, and then evil is the intention. You know. Yeah. So by extent, I guess evil is worse than bad, even though that's not how it really goes. But yeah. But that's a very good question, Wave Blessed. You guys are out here like asking. See, this is the live streams I like to
Evil
have.
itself comes from morality, which is not a concept humans are born with. Then how do we label born evil when it doesn't exist for them until they are taught?
And that's a great question. Okay. Perfect. Let me go ahead and answer that. We label things evil based on how they affect not only just you, but your surroundings. Because remember how I say you are selfish and you keep wanting more. When you start taking from everybody else simply because you want, that's where it becomes evil. I want all the women in the world. Now, when somebody else wants the women and I take the women from them, I'm an evil person. I want all the food in the world. When I take the food from my neighbor, that's when it becomes evil. Evil is how it affects everyone else. How it affects everyone else. That's what evil is. So that's a very good question. Yes. Think about villains that are evil for the for the F of it, and villains that where we understand why they are. Yeah. I agree 100%. That's why original ancestry sin exists. I mean, yeah. I guess this has to be theology, huh? I was trying to do it without theology. What happened to try not to laugh? Yeah. Today I decided not to give you guys money and I decided to make you guys smarter. I hope you guys can forgive me. I guess we have to make this a theology thing. I didn't want it to have to be theology, but I guess it can be, right?
Education.
Education, yeah. Yes, I hope you guys like these educational streams. It gives like food for thought, you know, we're able to like think and like come to like thought processes and stuff. Like Alex just taught me a few things, you know. He proved me wrong in some things. So like W Alex, you know. But yeah. Evil is how things get affected.
We can't avoid theology. The word comes from it.
That's true. In a theology sense, that's why I say ancestral sin. We have the nature of Eve when she sinned. I have a theological question. Okay, you specified the nature of Eve. Would you also say the nature of Adam? Because the Bible also specifies that, you know, the nature of Adam too, you know, like you are of Adam, so therefore you're sinful. You know, it's not just Eve, right? So it can be both, right? Right? Or Eve rebelled against God, so we inherit her. Right, but you know, like
Original sin.
yeah, but Adam being the head. Well, yes, Adam also sinned, but Eve did it. Oh, right. I took a philosophy class, so I'm interested in the topic. I am interested in this because I like to think. I like being wrong. People don't like being wrong. I get it.
So
okay?
are they saying we inherit Eve's original sin?
Yes, we inherit Eve's and Adam's original sin, but they say Eve because Eve came first in the sin. Anyways, well, I like being wrong because there's nothing I love more than being right. And I know that I'm not perfect, so eventually I will be wrong. So I like when people teach me to be wrong so that I can love being right. Is it painful being wrong? Absolutely. It hurts my feelings sometimes. But it gives me the opportunity to be right, which I love. So I live in a world where I am probably the smartest person most of my friends know. But I got there because I was wrong a lot of times. I wasn't born this way. I was wrong a bunch of times till eventually I became right. So, yeah.
Eve's sin and Adam's guilt, according to Augustine.
Saint Augustine? Is that who you're talking about? Eve's sin and Adam's guilt. Actually, I want to phrase that differently. I don't think it should be phrased Eve's sin and Adam's guilt. I think it should be phrased Eve's sin and Adam's lack of accountability. Because here's the thing: when God said, "Do not eat of the garden of fruit of good and evil," who was there? Adam. Eve wasn't there yet. Adam eventually related, or maybe God later told it to Eve. We don't get the specification, but we come to the conclusion that maybe Adam related to Eve, right? But the person specifically told to, that specific rule was told to was Adam, right? So Adam is supposed to care for the garden and everything within the garden. He's the rule maker. He's the provider,
Men
the
not
protector.
taking accountability is inherited, huh? Jokin'.
No, I agree. Adam is supposed to be the one who establishes things. He should have told Eve, no. He should have told the snake, get away from my wife. I decide what happens here and we're not eating from that fruit. So that's what I think happens. I think Eve's sin and Adam's lack of accountability is what we inherited. Yes. Does that make sense? Do you guys agree with me?
Wait, hold up.
Oh, he got music in the background.
Yeah,
What's up?
I had Lucky playing. What? Hold on. Huh? All right. Sorry, I was talking to my sister. What I was
You're
talking about though, how the ancestor and original sin is the nature in a philosophy sense. Like if you're using a Christian bias, and I think Muslims and Jews and whoever believes in Adam and Eve would agree with this. We inherit the nature to sin of her, but we don't inherit the actual sin because the Western world, like Catholics and Protestants, they believe in original sin, which basically means anybody born you're sinful, like you have sin. Which by that sense, babies have sin, which does not sound that right. Hold on.
It doesn't add up. Yeah, no, that doesn't
Oh my-
add up. You're right. But yeah. What he's saying does make sense by theological standpoints. Babies, whenever they do unalive, like let's say a baby was like born prematurely or whatever, right, and unalives, they do go to heaven. We get an establishment of that in the Bible and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So no, they're not born with sin, but they're born with a predisposition
Like
to
a
sin.
because how the Orthodox views it. Because I'm sure you remember how I blabbered on like a month ago live about how the Orthodox views it though is basically it's like an infection pretty much. The Catholics they
Okay.
believe the infection got you already, like you're dead you're unalive pretty much. But the Orthodox views it as an infection, like you're born with infection to sin. And
Right.
it's an infection. It's going to happen eventually, and that's the reason why we pass away is because we still
What's up,
are
5 stars?
guilty of of Eve's acts, but we don't have we're not born with it. Like
Okay.
we're not born with actual sin, but we're born with the nature to sin. That's why the East they use the word ancestral sin instead of original sin, like the West does, like Catholics. And
Okay.
yeah, and that kind of all roots to how all humans are born evil because it's sin. Sin is evil, and you're born with the nature to sin. So it all kind of loops around. Like any pretty much anything to do with anything is philosophy if you think about it, unless it's like brain rot.
Well, okay. Anything that has to do with the thought process is philosophy. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much anything. pretty much anything to do with humans, technically.
Yeah.
Like nearly everything. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I
but
think
that's I would agree with you, but yeah, some people might word it differently.
now the question I want to ask is, I want to also ask this to Alex Ramos. The question I want to ask is, at what point does philosophy become psychology?
Think about evil versus bad. Is it just hurting people? What about the theological evils of lechery, sodomy, incest, and compare it to natural behavior from the ancient and the animal kingdom?
Evil isn't described as how you hurt somebody, it's described as how you affect somebody. Yeah, it doesn't have to be hurt, it just needs to be affect. Yeah. Whatever the effect is can be evil, not always, but can be evil. But yes, the question I wanted to ask is, at what point does philosophy become psychology? And I think philosophy is the thought process, but psychology is the is the why? I think either philosophy is the why or psychology is the what. You know, it's one of those. It's one of those. I'm not giving this enough thought. So at some point, philosophy does become psychology when you're figuring out how. Okay, no. Philosophy is how do we think, and psychology is why did he do what he did. I think that's
I'll be
what it
back.
is.
I gotta go wash dishes.
Hey, you're good, man. You're good.
Yeah, I was just coming up here.
Yeah. But yeah, I think what it is that philosophy is how we think, and psychology is why did we do what we did. I think that's what it is. Okay, I think I figured it out. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I think philosophy is the how do we think, and then psychology is the why do we think. Yeah. Joycey Poo, what's up? How you doing? How you been? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're taking good care of yourself. Yeah. We've been live for only an hour and 30 minutes. I thought it was longer than this. I'll be honest with y'all. I thought we've been live for like 2 hours already. Nah, it's only been an hour and 30 minutes. That's crazy. Has it really? That's a short time. I could have sworn we've been live longer than this. When did I even start? I think I started around 2, right?
I am struggling with this art thing, sigh.